Hey free to play gang, welcome back to another video. So, the new version preview Bloody Hunt this light is finally live. It is currently on their YouTube channel. I'll put a link down in the descriptions below or maybe in a pinned comment so that you guys can refer to it rather easily, right? So we're going to actually skip through much of like the new lore and all that. And instead, we are just going to go straight into like the new aspects, right? So for the first one, we have Xiao In. He looks a little bit like Chloe in my opinion. Completely like Chloe. It's like kind of like the same thing, right? Doesn't this look like Chloe? This is like exactly like how Chloe poses, right? But anyway, I expected all three of them to be fighters, and indeed they are all three fighters. So the next one we have is the crossbow user, Aurelius. Pretty cool. So another 4-star fighter Esper, right? So like just like Xiao In. So he's going to be a flow type. And then finally we have our new legendary. This is going to be Zora. So she's also a fighter flow type. And I must say that her design is very, very interesting. It's very cool. But we want to talk about the main thing for today, right? And that is not Aira's new skin, but that is the relic boost over here. Okay, so Desolate Lands, what you're seeing over here is the Desolate Lands. It's basically a single player content. It is not multiplayer like I anticipated, or rather I didn't really anticipate it, but rather I was hoping that it would be. So the reason for my anticipation is very simple. If you take a look at this screenshot and you reference it to, let's say, Summoner's War, right? What you notice is that everything here is kind of like the same, all the different elements surrounding the main Rift boss, and this being the Shade Mother. And obviously, if you go on further, you will notice that the Rift Raid in Summoner's War, which this slide adapted from, is actually a multiplayer content, which is why I was hoping that this would be multiplayer, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, moving on with the rest of the content here, right, as you can see, depending on your score, you would get certain boost stones, right? So I guess this is where you get a different rarity of your boost stones with like different grading and different effect and power and all that, right? So obviously it is in your best interest to get the mythic grade boost stones, not so much of the lower rarity ones, although it is possible for you to replace your boost stone effect, so you can actually just keep adding the same boost stone effect onto your relic, and you would just keep, reshuffling the stats that you have. So like, maybe from like 2 to 3%, you can actually boost it to like 5 to 9%, for example, right? And then moving on, you will also notice that this is going to be a 6-man comp over here. So there are actually 6 Espers that you can bring into battle, which means that this is probably going to be a very difficult content, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of you guys are asking me, like, is this going to be a pay-to-win content? Because this is going to be another energy sink for the game, and where energy is really such a scarce resource. I fully understand. Now, the thing is, because this requires 6 different Espers, I highly believe that this is going to be very, very challenging. And because of that, it's also not going to be readily available to new players, right? But on top of that, I also do feel that this kind of fits in the same basket as with your Ritual Miracles. So for example, if you're hungry, you're only going to pick one fruit from the basket, right? So depending on what you really need. So for most players, it is always going to be relics, because I'm sure a lot of you guys do not even have like very strong relics for you to even consider something like this, let alone it being so difficult. So I feel like it doesn't like eat up more of your stamina, so to speak. It's more like what you really need. Therefore, you tailor your stamina to the specific content. But that's basically it for the rest of the video, right? This is the main thing that I want to talk about. So let me know how you feel about this content as a whole. How do you feel about the relic boost, the boost stones and all that? Is this something that you're excited about, or is this something that, they probably do not even need to drop it at this point of time? And I do feel like, honestly, in my opinion, right, I do feel like this is not exactly what we need right now, because a lot of you guys don't even have relics worth boosting at this point of time. So yeah, feel free to leave your raw thoughts down in the comment section below, but obviously do be civilized in the way we are doing so. We want to be objective in the way we want to express ourselves over on this channel as well. So definitely let me know your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more dislike content. Now with that said, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.